Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another scene from the living world of darkness, Rage Across New York. Today's scene will be ever so slightly backdated to the previous evening after a very particular mission has taken place. And in the wake of which, Tlate has, oh, thank you, has found her way. I mean, the kin probably are fairly aware of where the Seekers are and whatnot, has managed to find her way to where the Seekers have relocated off Sept. How she got there, I don't even I can't even. Probably had a kin driver. I don't know. She did it though. She done did it. And as a result has shown up at their door, I imagine politely knocking, and has at this point been let in by Chad's mother, who is such a lovely lady, and who will ever so politely see Tlate in to where the Seekers are doing their individual things. Well, the Seekers minus Dallas, who is currently back on Sept and doing whatever she's doing. But we shall set scene with her being guided into the living area where the current Seekers are lounging about or doing how they do. So, what are the various Seekers doing, just to give her a good picture of what she's walking in on?
Thank you.
Um, I don't know. Saoirse's probably lounging on the couch. Probably having a petty argument with Aiden about something.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably been filtering in and out of the rooms, to be honest. Probably washing and, doing the usual chores.
And as much as 10 Point does like to hang around him when he's flitting around, there's just no point in trying. She's probably hunkered down on the couch as well. Probably at the other end. And, again, etching at one of her bits of antler. Working on one of numerous little projects to help bring the pack a little bit of extra pocket money. And presumably they will all look up as Chad's mother enters the room and announces that they have a guest and shows in Tlate.
Yeah. The little Wendigo is standing very awkwardly in the middle of the room. By the way, as much as she tried to hide herself from like the public, so she kind of has like a clean jacket on, and she pulls her hoodie back, but her face still is pretty grimy. She looks very serious, although that is a facial expression that she normally has. It's more serious than normal. And basically, when she kind of opens her jacket, because it's pretty hot here compared to the outside, you can clearly see part of her clothing having basically like melted away and revealing a pretty, well, it's not too big, but probably kind of nasty looking wound on her torso, probably at her shoulder or something.
He'll immediately turn to Chad's mother and send her into his room and tell her to lock the door quite promptly, which he would do, probably taking the hint of the tone of seriousness in his voice.
Did he just robot for anyone else, or is that just me?
No, he did for everyone.
Yeah.
Can you say that last bit again?
He sent Chad's mother into his room and told her to lock the door and not to come out. Or do I need to reload, or am I still roboting?
No, you're good.
No, you're good.
Yeah, he basically sent Chad's mother in and locked the door.
Yeah, 10 Point will set aside what she's working on and offer Tlate a bob of head, though as she opens the jacket will kind of wince.
Um, I don't really have an easy way of saying this.
Did the mission go badly, Raya?
No. It didn't Well, we achieved our objective. We even got a prisoner, but unfortunately for our success, we had to pay a price. And I am afraid that I have to inform you, and she focuses specifically on Aiden. Felix has not made it out. Well, he is on his way back to Sept, but there is nothing that I could do for his wounds anymore. I have stabilized him as much as I can, but he will soon go to his ancestral homelands, wherever they may be.
Head whips around.
There's like a second delay where he doesn't quite process. He kind of freezes. He almost kind of stares like it's like a blank sheet. As he will gain a rage, and I will spend the willpower. And we are okay. But that hot flare will come in his eyes as like streaks of not tears of but probably anguish, but also that kind of white hot rage when you're so angry you're just shaking. He doesn't even speak. He just stares. His mouth opens slightly. His hands begin to tremor.
Tenpoint will send a little lunge through the pack link, like essentially a mental nudge to Dallas so that she's paying attention. Because I imagine that flare hit the link pretty hard too.
Oh yeah, no, there's no control. Like it's blatant. It's like a nuclear
Meanwhile,
bomb going off, you know.
we'll be quickly getting up off the couch and reverting to breed and weirdly speaking as she does so it transitions from English to high tongue. How? And she's going to start trying to ease between Aiden and Talate.
They knew we were coming. They set up for us. We continued. There was first acid falling from the ceiling. And then, as we went down a shaft, we met with a team with weapons, firearms. We all defeated them, but then we got into a room where there were two sort of garus, sort of black spiral dancers, and two of, well, what I can only say is the black spiral version of a Rokea. There were the four of them and they attacked us. One of the Rokea I managed to kill together with Colin. But the other one moved in on Felix and killed him with one attack. There was nothing any of us could have done.
Who led the mission?
William.
He takes a step forward, fist clenching. Was that stupid plan of his to go in those woods that I told him not to do? Because it was stupid.
She breathes out once as she's not moving. All of us who came along agreed to go forward.
And why the fuck isn't he here? Telling me my best friend is dying. Why did he send you a fucking Metis?
He did not send me. He is on his way to the Sept. I ran ahead to warn the elders of the Sept. He is carrying Felix, helping him to get home.
Oh. That's great. That's real great. Takes another step forward.
She again does not move.
Saoirse, for her part, is staying silent and listening. She's watching Aiden as well, but she's kind of in shock. Tears sting her eyes. She will also take a rage, and I will spend a willpower. And she's fine.
10 point is still easing to where she is everything but directly between the two of them. She's not cutting off line of sight.
I have a question, Talatehine.
Yes.
Why the fuck are you still alive and he isn't?
I have no answer for that. If it could have been different, I would have made sure it was the case. There is nothing I could do.
That seems to be the case all the time. A good guru dies, and a Metis lives.
Yes.
He's on Sept.
He was on his way. I went
Does
ahead.
Kailani know?
I have not informed her yet.
You didn't tell his packmate he's dying.
I presume she knows.
Ten point cranes her head around. The pack is not yet patronized, Raya. There is no link.
She frowns at that. Right. I was not aware.
Takes another step forward. This time, if 10 point ever even steps in his peripheral, she is met with a snarl.
10 point isn't needing to, she doesn't need to move to be there. She's already there, but she's shrunk down considerably, considering
if you want to see what a Hamid looks like intimidating a Krynos, that's it. He gets up right at her, snarling.
No, she cows for the most part. She doesn't move back. She's still at a point where she could intervene, but she definitely, as he moves forward, she just kind of starts shrinking down, head dropped, ears flat.
I have another question, Tate.
Yes, Aiden.
This one you can ask Will yourself. Is he going to learn from this? Because it seems only when someone dies does he actually learn a fucking lesson. And now my best friend is dead. My fucking brother is dead.
I am aware of what Felix meant to you.
How could you be?
Anyone who has seen the two of you knows.
No, how could you know what it's like? That's what I'm saying. But you can ask him that question and see, does he defend himself?
I have no reason for me. There's no reason for me to ask that question.
Then get the fuck out of here. Before I do something I regret.
And she'll simply nod, and we'll turn around and we'll walk out.
On the way out, Dallas is running up to the stoop of the house, sort of catching her breath, looking like she's been running a full head of steam about the 3 miles or so that it takes to run from Sep to where Chad's mom lives. And she stops and she looks at Latahim.
Atlanta looks back as she is putting on her jacket again. And she will hold the door open.
And she'll move past Latahim without a word and make her way in.
And yeah, Latine will close the door and will go back to Sept.
And with the potential target leaving and Dallas close, yeah, 10 point by time Dallas comes in has gotten all the way down onto the floor.
What happened?
The expedition to the northern forest. Felix is dying.
Spending the willpower, and please don't give 6 successes. It's a full moon tonight, which means she's difficulty 4. But Dallas's eyes shift to a shade of amber for a moment before she looks like she's physically restraining herself, like clenching her fist tightly, and then she looks at Aiden.
He just seems to be staring at the wall. Doesn't even seem to notice anyone else is there at all. Just staring, shaking.
Even 10 point isn't going to mess with that. She's not going to intervene even through the link. But so long as he stays compressed, even a thin veil of composure, she's just going to lax out on the floor. Just hideously. She doesn't respond with rage. She just kind of melts down onto the carpet.
Saoirse sinks back down onto the couch and she's gritting her teeth, with tears spilling down her face.
Dallas sort of imposes herself to Aiden's side. She doesn't touch him. She doesn't get in his line of sight or in the way of whatever he's staring at, or if he's just blankly staring. But if he does decide to go off, she would be the one best suited to try and control him, initially at least. So she stands there, waiting.
Who's gonna tell? Who's gonna tell his wife? And whispers under his breath. It's like he just starts to shake as he puts his hand on his face. Am I gonna tell his wife?
You're the only one qualified to. We all liked him, but none of us were close to him like you were.
I can't be here.
Where do you want to go?
He breathes, takes a long, harsh breath, and looks over. Why are you here? Why are just leave me alone? Just back off.
Get home, be with my family.
I don't give a shit. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't care about you. I don't care about this pack. I don't care about right now. I don't give a shit because Felix, he catches his breath, and this whole fucking Sep can just go to fucking hell, alright? This whole fucking thing. Oh, I've gone robot. God damn it!
A little bit.
Yeah.
Alright, am I better?
No.
Hang on.
Damn it.
Thank you, Google, for just fucking this up.
Any better now?
Much better.
Yes, much better.
Okay, there we go. He'll start to breathe heavily and shake, and he'll turn. You know, I don't give a fuck about you or this fucking Sept or fucking murder hobo William White, any of these people. I don't give a fuck.
Roll a P&E on that. It's really going to influence what she might say.
Saoirse, she knows Aiden. She knows that he's just angry and grieving, so she's giving him space.
3 successes.
He's his best friend has just died. Do you know what I mean? There's no.
Dallas wants to make sure that she's not missing anything. The player wants to make sure that she's not missing anything.
What am I gonna tell his wife? What am I gonna tell? I wasn't there. I told him it was a stupid plan. I wasn't there.
Pinpoint will finally dare to slowly shift back into Hobbit, getting herself up off the floor. Right, you couldn't have known.
I knew there was something fucking stupid gonna happen. I just didn't think. And they can't be dead.
Right, you did everything you could. Keep them from doing this. She's slowly moving closer. Very slight, very slow motions at any given point. But getting a bit closer.
Feels like sort of gone. His commitment to duty, to the sept. I don't think there's anyone that could say that they have a stronger sense of attachment or responsibility than Felix did.
I left him with them. And they killed him. They got him killed.
He's not gone yet, Raya. You should go back to Sept.
Saoirse will get up and go over to Aiden. Will gently slip her hand into his, squeeze it. Let's go see him.
Yeah.
He's not gone yet. Let's go see him.
You may still have a chance to talk to him, Raya.
I get to say goodbye.
Bye.
He'll just nod. And he'll just move very artificially, like he's reaching for something, like a jacket, and he just puts it on as if he's completely just staring vacantly out at something, not even there.
And as he's doing so, 10-point will shoot Saoirse a concerned glance, if only because he's probably going for the keys next. And she'll one-to-one message her through the link. Just kind of murmur, in her ear, essentially.
Yeah.
Can you drive like this?
I don't know.
Yeah, sure enough, he does reach for his keys. You know, it's an inevitable process.
Yep. And she'll finally turn around and very, very gingerly, just barely touch his shoulder with her fingertips. Raya, perhaps we should run. We'll still get there before them.
I can drive him.
Turn very slowly. Move very artificially. I'm about to roll something.
Oh no.
Hey, 10 point.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, that is a punch straight to the face.
It's a lot of successes.
Yep.
That's lovely. That's a
That's
lot of
yeah.
successes. Really
It's
glad you can
1,
hop.
2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Oh boy.
That's a lot of successes too.
Oh, we could just scrape a little of that off.
5 for 5.
Oh, thank God.
It's still yeah. Like Dallas and Saoirse don't even realize it's just it is so fast.
Yeah. He whips around and slams a fist into her head, and she reels back. Strangely, she doesn't ragdoll. She doesn't tip. But the sheer force actually pushes her back a good step or so.
Saoirse
Back
actually,
off.
Saoirse actually
Back.
startles.
Back off. Don't fucking touch me. It's just like he just stands there, like in like spread arms spread, you know, and the balling his fists.
She gives her head a
Don't put your menace fucking paws on me.
and she inevitably just shrinks back. Actually retreats several steps. Israel.
He's dying and you're living. You, Talate, all you fucking menace are the same.
Sorry, Raya. I wasn't there.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any of it. He turns back around. And yeah, just turns back around, still like, you know, shaking with like, you know, 5 rage, you know.
Oh,
Are you good to drive? And
I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
you want any of us to come with you?
Do what you want.
well, Saoirse's not letting him out of her sight, so she's going with him.
I mean,
Yeah.
he just says do what you want and opens the door and just walks out, you know.
Yeah.
He seems to move at a
like-
very robotic, like artificial pace.
Some point we'll be pleading with Saoirse with our eyes to, for the love of God, don't let him out of your sight. But yeah,
Oh no, she's not.
There's- as much as 10 point is in the book, there is so much acceptance of what just happened that it doesn't even rock her, really. She just stays back as they go out the door.
Dallas, once the door shuts, she lets out a breath. And she walks over to the sink and grabs a dish towel and just grabs a couple of ice cubes and then walks back over to 10 point.
Ten Point has kind of huddled herself back against the wall. Just so far out of the way. So she'll glance up when she's getting approached.
Dallas will take 10 Point's hand and put the bundle in it, and then just gently raise it up to, I guess, that point in her mouth where she got punched.
Yep, the bruise is rapidly going through the entire blooming and healing process, so it probably looks horrific at the moment. So she'll get the idea and put it up to her face. Immediately drop her head again. Thank you, Raya.
It's not you this time.
I know, Raya. But it should have been her.
Not everybody knows their place like you do.
I know, Raya.
Hadn't been her, it should have been him. Should have been the one leading.
Just kind of a numb, tiny nod.
Pisha was bad. This is going to be much worse.
Another very numb, tiny nod.
You're going to need to steel yourself. His anger is going to be directed in many places because of what you are and what you are to this pack. You're going to absorb a lot of it.
As I meant to, Raya.
Are you sure you're prepared to handle what's about to come?
We'll do whatever it takes, Raya. Oh, if he is to linger with you, you may not want to be here when he comes back, Raya.
Let him make that decision. And if he comes at me, I can handle anything he can throw.
Another very, almost imperceptible nod. And, in the interest of moving things right along, 10 Point will probably spend the better part of the time that follows leaning up against that wall. And especially if Dallas does, when Dallas does eventually disengage, we'll just stay there and just cry. Not even for her face. It heals almost immediately. Not even for the hurtful words, but, well, nobody else got to see it. She saw a little more of Felix in some ways than some people did. And she's already mourning. But with that, we'll switch to that car camera, that awesome view from the vehicle, to the pair that are, God help them, probably speeding like demons towards Sept.
I mean, yeah, unless Saoirse tries to stop him, yeah, I mean, fuck. The traffic laws are barely being kept in at this stage. Like, he's just driving and his hands clench on the steering wheel. He just keeps going faster and faster and faster.
Now, she knows better than to try and get him to to do anything at this point. She's just gonna make sure that he's not hitting people and other cars and just let him do whatever he wants.
I mean, he keeps within the laws, but it's
Yeah, it's close. She's hanging on to that oh shit handle.
I live, I die, I live again.
Yeah. But she's, you know, she's keeping an eye on Aiden, but she's kind of in her own head as well. She might not have been as close to Felix as Aiden was, but he still meant a whole lot to her, and they had their own stuff, and she's definitely feeling very empty, and I think right now she's just very worried about Aiden, and it'll hit her a lot harder when she actually sees Felix. And but yeah, she's trying to make sure that they get to Sept alive.
as they pull up to the Sept, Aiden skids the car to a halt. Like, I mean, he's a very good driver, so it jerks in nice and neatly. There's like, I'm assuming the two rock forward kind of, probably bouncing around the car, and he'll unbuckle the belt and stand there. Probably punch the fucking airbag thing a few times, and like tears will come down his face as he has his head buried, his big dark hair like covering his face. They tell us not to be in love with things, Saoirse.
She nods. It's hard.
They tell us we can't. That it's against what we are.
I know, Aiden. I know. But it's hard. How can you not? When you spend so much time and you fight next to each other and you almost die in front of each other. I know how you feel. I do.
And I can never tell him that.
No.
Because he's wrong. How am I supposed to sit there and watch him die like I watched Darcy die? How can I not tell him these things, but if I do, portrays exactly who I am. When all I did was I never made any move, I never did anything that would breach our laws. I just loved him.
It's not a crime to love him, and if you want him to know, you can whisper it in his ear. Nobody has to hear it except for him. She'll take his hand.
That's the two people I love that are dead, Saoirse.
I know. I know. I never told anybody this, but when Teresa died, the very last thing that she said to me and the pack link before she died was she told me she loved me. I know how you feel, Aiden.
I just nod slowly, staring out into the Sept. I'm not a bad guru.
Of course
There's-
not.
Right. There's just nod and close his eyes and then get out and take a breath as he just kind of lean. Actually, she just seems to sink down the front driver's seat. He starts sobbing uncontrollably.
If he'll let her, Saoirse will pull him to her and just hold him as he cries, and she'll cry with him. Um, she loved Felix in her own way as well. So
And yeah, as eventually Aiden will compose himself and will walk in, closing his eyes as he's walking in to go see Felix.
Saoirse's by his side. She's not leaving.
Would anyone else like to say anything before we close this scene? And with
Dallas,
that, oh,
sorry. Dallas, for her part, goes and finds the few bottles of the whiskey that the pack seems to enjoy, and she'll put it out on the table. She'll look over at 10 Point before she goes out to the stoop. Probably after letting Chad's mom know that she can come out and that for the next few days things are going to be turbulent. And she'll sit down out there and smoke and just wait. Keep an eye out. Waiting for Saoirse and Aiden to come home.
and with that, I think it is safe to say thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And due to the very nature of this video, thank you, Felix and his player, for all the fantastic interactions we've had. And we will see you next time on the Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.